Hi, welcome back to Black Magic Beauty. My name is Trish. It is time to update my May and June empties as well as low buy update. I'm not going to be doing the whole video from my car, but I did want to just fill you guys in on what the heck has been going on with me the last couple of months because it is actually relevant to the state of my low buy right now. So starting with the good and the happy news, me and my husband are having another baby, which is very exciting. We've been wanting to do it for a while and it just kind of finally worked out. The not so good and happy news is like right off the bat, I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes. And if you don't know anything about that, it affects less than 10% of pregnancies. But for the people who do get it, typically it doesn't show up until like month 5 or 6, sometimes even 7. I am currently going into month 4 and I was diagnosed as of month 2. So in addition to just general first trimester shittiness, I was also dealing with blood sugar spikes and crashes, which were leaving me feeling like complete garbage. In addition to that, I was also experiencing some other symptoms that felt pretty extreme to me, like I was having sudden bouts of dizziness and lightheadedness where I felt like I was gonna faint. I would get like tunnel vision and vertigo. I was having bouts of like confusion and disorientation. And it turns out that actually had nothing at all to do with the gestational diabetes. I also apparently have been having sudden drops in blood pressure, which means that my brain is literally not getting enough blood to function. So because of all this, I started missing work and I eventually had to cut my hours, and I was just overall like miserable and exhausted and just feeling like shit and like in survival mode. Like I was literally struggling to get through the day most days. And on top of all of that, the biggest problem when it comes to my low buy specifically is I was dealing with all of this and all of my vices were suddenly gone. Obviously I'm pregnant, so it's not like I can unwind with a glass of wine or margarita, but also because of the diabetes, I can't have any of the fun foods that I enjoy and have been craving, like pizza or like lo mein or pasta or sweets. I can't even have like a mocktail because those have sugar in them. So I've basically been surviving off of a diet of like mostly eggs and nuts and berries and Greek yogurt. And if any of you have been pregnant before, you can probably imagine that that's sort of miserable. I haven't been able to lift weights because the blood pressure issues make me like scared to attempt it, not to mention the fact that I've just been feeling way too weak to even do that, and I've been too exhausted to like do anything else. So even something as simple as like going out and enjoying the summer with my son just feels kind of out of reach right now. So what I've been doing is I have been turning to shopping, and my low buy has been suffering as a result. And you know what? I am disappointed in myself. I will openly admit that. But I am also still trying to give myself some grace because like not only have I been dealing with a lot, the whole blood brain lack of oxygen to my brain thing has actually led to some very legitimate and tangible lapses in judgment. I already suffer from ADD and depression, and that mixed in with the fact that I've just been feeling miserable and I have like no outlet right now is sort of like a petri dish for just mental instability. That all being said, I haven't gone into debt for anything that I've got. I haven't dipped into my savings for anything I've got. But the fact of the matter is, I really need to be saving everything that I can because the reduction in hours has also reduced my income pretty significantly, and I have a literal baby on the way. So like, I need to only be purchasing things if they're absolutely necessary, and this stuff, it wasn't necessary. So I'm gonna try to take that lesson and that realization going forward. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening. And that's basically what's been going on with me and why I've been a little bit MIA. That's also why my low buy right now is going to be pretty disappointing, but let's just get into it and I will show you everything that has been coming in and out of my life for the last 2 months. Okay, so I'm home. I'm gonna start with my empties for the past 2 months. So this is going to be for May and June. I believe I ended April with -1 point for makeup. And in May, I finished up my mini of my Anastasia brow definer. It was fine. I wouldn't repurchase it again though. So that brought me to 0. And then in June, I finished up my mini of my Laura Mercier powder, and that brought me to 1. Skincare was doing a little bit better. I don't remember which months any of these were used up in, but during the months of May and June, I finished up my Supergoop sunscreen. Now this was a mini, so this would be 1 point. I finished up my full size of my Kristen Florian mineral sunscreen, so that would be 2 points. I finished up a mini of Clinique Take the Day Off Balm, so that would be 1 point. My Onda eye cream, I also finished up, and this was also a full size, so that would be 2 points. I finished up one of my clarifying Berry Plus repair serums, so that's empty, so that would be another 2 points. And I also finally finished up my sulfur mask by Zio Skincare, and I scraped out as much as I could. And finally, for my skincare empties, I have this little ampule. Now, you haven't seen these before because this was something that I actually acquired this month, but I got a pack of a bunch of these ampules as a gift, and I'm basically counting each one of these as like 0.1 points. So totals overall for my skincare is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10.1. And that would have brought me to 37.1 points total because I had a bunch left over from April as well. And for body care, I also finished 2 more items. So I finished my watermelon body butter. That is in my Project A to Z. So that would be 2 points. And I also finished up my J&L Naturals, it's the bergamot one, bergamot deodorant. Now this is all taken apart because the packaging for this was absolutely terrible. Like basically you were supposed to push it up to get the deodorant out, but the deodorant was like so fused to the inside of the container that pushing it up did nothing. It didn't budge. I literally had to cut everything open and scrape it out. I don't know if it's just because this was like a dud or if it's just a bad packaging design, but I ended up depotting it into a jar and just scooping it out with my hands. But this is another 2 points. So I added another 4 points into my body care category, which would have brought me to 4. So with my empties, I had 1 point for makeup, 37.1 points for skincare, and 4 points for body care. Now that was before all of the purchases that I told you about. So before we get into that, why don't I go over the items that I received outside of my low buy. Okay, so outside of my low buy, I received a couple of items for free from Influencer. The first one is another Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray. This is the only setting spray I am currently using. I have one other one that I'm working on, and then I'm gonna crack into that. I also received this set from Influencer. Now, what I really wanted was the eyeshadow stick. It's like a taupey neutral color with blue glitter in it. That's really pretty, but I couldn't get this without also getting the tattoo liner, so I added both of these into my inventory. And as I mentioned before, I also received a bunch of ampules. Now these were a gift. So this came with 14. And I don't know what happened to the 14th one. I know what happened to the 13th one because I used it. So I'm wondering if I accidentally threw it away and forgot to track it. But either way, I received this as a gift. And each one of these is going to count as 0.1 points for me when I use them up, just since they're so small. They're basically single use. I received a couple of gifts with purchase. So a couple orders that I placed, I did get some free items with. So I did place an Ulta order recently, and I got a mini Bum Bum body scrub, a mini Bum Bum cream, a mini leave-in conditioner, and a mini Brazilian Crush body spray, all by Sol de Janeiro. And another order that I placed with Mooncat, which I'll be talking about, I redeemed a reward, so I got this nail polish for free as well. And then finally, I got a bunch of gratis in the last quarter as well. So I received 2 items from ZO Medical, the Growth Factor Serum and the Growth Factor Eye Serum. I received 3 items from Kirsten Florian. So I received another grapefruit and black pepper body oil, another ginger body oil, and another one of my clarifying Berry Plus Repair serums that I use every day. And I received a bunch of stuff from Ultralux. So I received another Ultralux Face and Body. This one I just use primarily on my face. I received a firming facial wash. I received another bergamot wash, which I really love. Yeah, I think that's it. So going from there, I'm gonna go into the items that were purchased outside of my low buy. So in that Ulta order that I placed that I got that gift from purchase, I ordered a Batiste dry shampoo. Now for the past several years, I've been using a powder dry shampoo that I got on Amazon. I think I've had it for like 3 years now. It's just a powder you sprinkle in your hair and rub. I like it, but it's kind of messy and it's a little annoying to use, and it was on its very, very last legs, which is why I bought this in the Ulta order. The reason I placed the Ulta order to begin with was because my family was running out of sunscreen. I have my own private sunscreen like this that I use like on my own face, but when it comes to like communal like body sunscreen that we all use, we were out of pretty much everything. So I ended up getting some more sunscreen, and I got the dry shampoo. And since this is a hair product, this is outside of my low buy. Now, for nails. Nails were previously outside of my low buy rules because I didn't consider nails to be an issue. But then I decided it was a good idea, in addition to that reward that I got, buy 4 new nail polishes. Mooncat was having a sale, and I was feeling like I talked about earlier, it was like the beginning of me feeling like shit. So I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna get some more nail polishes. It's the one thing like I'm able to buy. The problem is I had 10 color nail polishes before. I just added in 5 with my reward and these 4. That's 15 nail polishes. And even though for some people 15 nail polishes might not be a lot, for me it is, because I don't get the chance to wear nail polish very often. So this was kind of a stupid purchase. I do really like all the colors. They're all really pretty. Hopefully, eventually they will get use, but that was a lapse in judgment in me placing that order. So this is kind of a regret. These 4 are a regret. And because of this, nails as of June 2024 is in my low buy now. I am not allowed to purchase any more nail products until I start finishing or decluttering some of what I have. Now, granted, that doesn't take into account things like if I run out of a top coat or I run out of like nail polish remover, because I'm gonna be going through that sort of stuff way faster. But colored nail polishes, like the actual nail polish, those are now in my low buy. And then that moves me on to the purchases that were already in my low buy, pretty much all of which broke my rules. And even the ones that didn't break my rules, still, I really shouldn't have been buying them. So I'm gonna move right into body care. I went about a month or so between purchasing the nail polish. I think it was like a month and a half, and these items. Now, body care, as you remember, I only had 4 points in my body care. And to be fair, I was kind of running low on bath products, like actual bath products, but I wasn't out. I still have like half of a bubble bath left, and I still have a milk bath that I got. So like I didn't really need to purchase more bath items, but I was all like, oh, I'm running out of bath items. I don't have like all the scents and all the stuff that I want. So when I was at Marshall's, I ended up bringing in a new Epsom salt. So that was 4, so now I'm at 0. I also brought in a package of little mini bath bombs. It's another 4, so now I'm at -4. And 2 new Philosophy bubble baths. So now I'm at -12. So I didn't need any of these. I wanted them, and I justified it by basically being like, oh, I just want to have a nice bubble bath, and I'm running out of bubble bath stuff, and I don't have any bath bombs, and I don't have any Epsom salts. But they are not a necessity. I do not need these things to function. Like, even if I was completely out of like bubble bath and everything, I still have my bath oils that I can use that can make it a little bit nicer. And then I placed an order with Skin Script, which is a skincare company that I really like, and that wasn't that long after that. Now, I did have a lot of points in my low buy. I had, 37.1 skincare points. And the reason I placed this order was because I am also running low on my nighttime lotion. Basically, I've just been using up all of the nighttime lotion that I have, and I'm getting to the bottom of the jar of the one that I am currently using. And the only other lotion that I could really use as like a nighttime lotion that I own right now is my First Aid Beauty like intensive repair, which I feel like for the middle of summer was just going to be way too heavy. So I'm like, oh, I've got like a ton of skincare points, so I'm gonna place an order with Skin Script. So I did get the moisturizer that I really like, their hydrating moisturizer, and I got the professional size since I'm able to do that. And this will last me a really long time. So this one item made sense, but they were having like a 20% off sale or something, and they rarely have sales. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna need different skincare now that I'm pregnant, I can't use like my salicylic acid washes, and I can't use my retinol, which is only like 2 types of things. I can't use any of my peels, which I really didn't even have any peels left anyway. All I had was an enzyme mask. So I ended up buying more stuff. And this is where it gets stupid. Before I get into everything that I bought, I should also probably mention that they sent me a whole bunch of samples too, which they tend to do. Because when you order from Skin Script, they kind of assume that you're using it in the treatment room. I don't personally use it for that purpose, but one day, like if I ever open up my own practice, I probably will end up doing that. But yeah, they ended up sending me 4 samples of the hydrating moisturizer that I got. So basically it's just extra hydrating moisturizer for me. And then they sent me 2 other samples for 2 other items that I got in the order. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra items that I now have. I ordered this honey brightening cleanser because I was looking into options for like how to keep acne at bay when you can't use traditional acne medications. Mandelic acid is safe for pregnancy in like low amounts. You can't use it in high amounts, and this has mandelic acid in it, and it's also got lactic acid in it, which is also safe for pregnancy. And it just looked amazing. It just looked like a great cleanser, and it is. I'm very happy with it. I haven't opened this one yet, but they sent me like the sample, and so far I've been really happy with it. But I didn't need any more cleansers. Like I would have been fine not using an exfoliating cleanser for the duration of my pregnancy, and like maybe I would have gotten some breakouts here or there, but I would have been fine. Like, so I bought this. So that's for 8 points out of my low buy. I got the Mandelic Brightening Serum because I thought it would pair well with a cleanser. And I couldn't use like my retinol nighttime serum that I like to use before. So that's another 4 points. So that's 12 points out of my low buy. And then I also bought 2 masks, neither of which I needed. They just sounded really, really nice. So as I mentioned before, I have an enzyme mask that I do really like. I just get bored using the same thing over and over again. And this jackfruit enzyme sounded really nice. It is pregnancy safe. It's got mandelic in it, but it's a small percentage of mandelic, and it also has a pineapple enzyme in it. It's got some jackfruit extract in it. It smells delicious. Like, it smells very Hawaiian, like a Hawaiian kind of drink. And I think I'm gonna end up actually mixing this with my other enzyme that I like. I think that would be really nice, but in the end all be all, I did not need that until I was out of my other enzyme, which is gonna be a little bit. And I got a lychee nourishing mask, which is supposed to be good for like acne and evening out your skin tone. It also is supposed to help with like sun damage and irritation from being out in the sun too long. So I'm like, oh, this sounds like a great mask that'll go with the jackfruit enzyme. And I don't actually have, I thought, I don't actually have any acne masks right now, so why don't I get this? But then I realized that I also still have a mud mask from Kirsten Florian, which granted, that particular mud mask I don't like very much. I might end up decluttering it, but I didn't need any of this. I didn't need any of this. So basically, I spent 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Oh, and I got an eye serum. So 24 points out of my low buy. And then going back to the Ulta order, this was another stupid lapse in judgment that I had. And I know I sound like I'm beating myself up right now. I'm just a little annoyed. So I have not been able to find any of my lip balms recently. And for some reason, instead of like going back and looking at my inventory videos to see how many lip balms and what lip balms I had at the beginning of the year, I just like assumed that they were all gone because I couldn't find any of them. So when I placed that Ulta order, Ulta was having a 30% off sale on my favorite lip balms, which is the Fresh lip balms, the Fresh Intense Treatment Therapy, which is this one, which is my favorite, and then the watermelon and the coconut version of like the jar lip balm. So this is another 12 points. So basically I ended up spending like 36 out of my 37.1 points on skincare, none of which I actually needed, because literally right after I placed that order, I found a bunch of lip balms. I found the Fresh lip balm that I bought. I found a mini of the Fresh lip balm that I bought. And I found a Burt's Bees one. So I'm set for lip balms for like the next 2 years. So at least that wasn't outside of my no-buy rules. But like I was talking about earlier, I need to be saving my money. And I didn't need this stuff. That brings me to makeup. So I had 1 point in my makeup bank. And I've been using the KVD Good Apple Balm Foundation. I still like it, but I have been noticing it's not quite the right shade for me. I got like the 010 or like yeah, I think it was like 010 neutral shade, and really I'm cool toned. So like at times it oxidizes a little bit yellow. But it's fine. I've been working with it. However, I've been using it a lot and I'm starting to run out of it pretty quickly. Especially for the formula, you don't actually get a ton of product in that container. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna need a new foundation soon. But I don't know which one I want to get. So I should try like swatching stuff and seeing what formula I like. But anyway, so I went to Sephora and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get anything today. I do have a gift card, but I think I'm just gonna swatch stuff and figure out what I like. And I ended up finding one that I really liked. And I had the gift card, so I just bought it, which in and of itself wasn't the worst thing in the world. Like, I had a gift card to cover it, but again, outside of my low buy rules, I only had 1 point. I wasn't completely done with the foundation I was using, so like I didn't really need it. And even if I was done with the foundation that I was using, in the summertime I use mostly tinted moisturizer anyway. Even though I haven't been in love with the tinted moisturizer I've been using, I still have a tinted moisturizer that I can use. Anyway, so I bought the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I am gonna use it. This wasn't necessarily a bad purchase per se. I just didn't need it right now. But I'll start using this probably in a couple of weeks. Where I get really mad at myself is this next item. So while I was there, I was kind of just browsing around and I was trying out some of the one size foundation, none of which I really liked. And then I saw the tester out for this. It's the Cheek Clapper palette, an attention seeker. And I love the colors, and I swatched it and it was beautiful. And then I started going down the rabbit hole of like, I really don't actually have any cool tone blushes, and I've been getting really sick of the blushes that I have, probably because I've been panning the same one for like the entirety of the year. I'm thinking about doing a declutter soon to get rid of anything that's not my favorite. I'm like, and I was just like stressed out and not thinking, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna get this palette, and I just bought it. I will use it. I'm probably really gonna enjoy it, but I need to I need to stop. Like, this is where it becomes a problem, is when I just start justifying things just because I'm in a bad mood and I'm stressed out and I feel like crap. Like, I'm giving myself some grace for all of this because I know I've been in a bad spot, but I'm in part making this video where I'm essentially roasting myself to give myself some accountability moving into the future. So that all being said, my balance at this point is kind of screwed up. I currently have 1.1 point in my skincare bank. I have negative 15 points in my makeup bank because this was 4, and because this has 3 separate pans in it, I am counting this as 12 points. So that's at negative 15 right now. And my body care is now at 12. Now at negative 12. So I need to get this shit under control. And the other thing too is just the fact that, like, I am getting so overwhelmed by clutter. Like, maybe it's just because I'm pregnant and hormonal, but like, with my stuff being everywhere, it's making me want to throw it into a pile and burn it. Like, even the stuff I really like. And I think my panning journey this year has honestly kind of contributed to that a little bit, because I have a lot of products in project pans that I've just come to realize through using them, I just really don't like. Like, they just don't suit me very well. And I've still been forcing myself to use them because they're in project pans. And one thing that I've learned, which I posted a video about recently with my Pan That palette, is it's just not worth the time. Like, if it's a product that I'm really just not vibing with, it is not worth my time to sit there and let everything else go bad and have all this stuff just accumulating, because the more I'm panning stuff I don't like, the more I'm wanting to buy things that I actually do like, even if there's something already in my collection that I also like, just because I'm not thinking about it, because all I'm thinking about are the items that I don't like. So I think another thing that I'm gonna do to try to curb this spending habit before it gets too bad is just honestly do a really, really ruthless declutter of my collection. And it doesn't matter if the items are in Project Pan, I'm just gonna write them off as decluttered if that's the case, because I can't keep going down this rabbit hole where I just get sick of the stuff that I have, and then I end up impulse purchasing things, and then I end up with too much, and then I declutter, and it's just like, it's just like a vicious cycle, you know what I mean? And my mental health obviously has not been the best. So I think it would help me out a lot if I just really and truly reduce at least my makeup collection, if nothing else, to only items that are true and absolute favorites of mine. And then I'll be able to actually see if I truly have a gap. And I don't think I do. I think I have plenty of everything to last me, at least until the end of the year, if not way longer. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening to me bitch and admit where things have gone horribly wrong. And if you have anything to add, please let me know in the comments. But I will see you in the next one. Expect a declutter video soon. I love you. Have a good night.